Hello and welcome to highlights from the ADAC SimRacing Expo 2018. The SimRacing Expo is taking place for its 5th year at the legendary Nürburgring Nordschleife, and it's a great opportunity for sim racing drivers, teams, hardware manufacturers to all get together and celebrate the best of sim racing. Friday kicked off with Stefan Rattiel, chairman of SRI Motorsports, who invited drivers racing in the Blancpain GT series to take part and blend from real-life racing over to virtual racing. It was commentated by the legendary John Watson, and the drivers started off with a short training session to get themselves acclimatized to the rigs. In a one-lap qualifying, Christian Engelhard succeeded against his teammate from the Grasso Racing team on Assetto Corsa as they went to battle on Friday night.
This is an amazing event.
In the end, it was Christian Engelhard who had himself what was a fantastic victory by him, and the crowd really enjoyed watching the real-life drivers participate at the Expo. Saturday, and our attention turns over to iRacing and to the first of their two big events of the weekend, the Porsche Sim Racing Trophy. 40 drivers from 17 nations were doing battle as quarterfinals, semi-finals and the finals all taking place in one day. The top 5 drivers from each heat would progress from the quarters to the semis, and then from the semis over to the finals. Let's have a look then at highlights from semi-final 1 with Max Benecke starting on pole position. The semi-final is taking place at Mount Panorama, Bathurst. A good clean start by all the drivers heading down into Hell Corner. However, it would be the end of the first lap that will see some drama as Sebastian Job in the G2 Esports car turned around by himself, taking out the number 26 Williams Esports driver. There's a replay. You just see losing it under braking Sebastian Job and hitting the driver of Lauren Heinrich, who goes spinning around as well. Heinrich will then start a recovery drive, and here you can see he gets past Gianni Vecchio down Conrad Straight. That moves him up one position, but then Job later on has more issues as he tries to overtake Patrick Pichler, who didn't qualify for this event. He didn't actually get his lap in qualifying, started from the rear. Pichler just about able to hold on. Job is out, and then Lauren Heinrich has himself an unfortunate incident. He'd climbed all the way back from the rear to P6, but he was out. Max Benecke wins the first of the 2 semi-finals, and he gets victory by almost 6 seconds over Niels Koch.
Bathurst is one of the most trickiest tracks in the whole world, in iRacing especially. And in these actor races, I'm sweating like hell, but it was really a good race from the beginning on.
On to semi-final number 2, and Jeremy Bootsloop this time is the driver starting on pole position for Coanda Sim Sports. Again, a good start by all drivers into the first corner, but this time the drama kicks off down at turn number 2. Adacopa Lopez going wide at Quarry Corner, and that loses him a number of positions. Looking now at the driver Amilcar Makila, and well, Moritz Lohner trying to overtake Kei Koshube as they head themselves in towards the chase. Behind, you notice that Makila is battling it out with the driver of Mitchell de Jong, who's been a successful driver both in Rallycross as well as in the iRacing World Championship Series. Mitchell de Jong falling down, having troubles here in that Kawana Sim Sports car. He moves himself down into P number 5 on track. De Jong then has a crash down at Skyline. That is his Saturday as he has himself a huge crash. His day is over. Big disappointment from one of the favourites to make the final, as we now look at Moritz Lohner overtaking Makila for the second time in this event, as Makila goes wide as he works up the mountain. Alexander Thieb, he gets himself victory in semi-final number 2, and it's Jeremy Bootleap second, and Moritz Lohner rounding out your top 3, as the top 5 drivers will move themselves with those from semi-final number 1 over to our final.
In the race, I had the chance. Jeremy did fair play to me. That was pretty cool. And then I was able to control the race from that point. And yeah, I'm absolutely happy to win the semi-final. I'm excited for the final.
The parade of the finalists heading themselves onto the stage to get ready for what will be a 30-minute race at the Nürburgring. The virtual Nürburgring set in the shadow of the real Nürburgring as the drivers take themselves to the green flag. Max Benecke, Niels Koch have the front row with Jack Sedgwick and Jeremy Bootleap behind as the drivers all get a clean start heading in towards the Mercedes-Benz Arena. The drivers know this is a key overtaking opportunity on lap number 1, but Jeremy Bootleap ends up getting loose through the centre of that first corner, and he falls all the way from 4th to 8th position, although he does try to recover on the outside of turn number 3. A good start by Max Benecke means that he has himself a 4-car length advantage as they exit the arena for the first time. The battle's going on behind between Williams Esports and the Pure Racing team. Running the sprint layout here at the Nürburgring, it means it's a shorter lap as the drivers now head themselves towards that left-hander, and this is where we see our first incident of the day. Alexander Thieb, Niels Koch and Jack Sedgwick involved in a 3-car incident, and that really hurt the chances for a number of drivers to get into the podium or, of course, win this event. Here's another look at the replay, and you see a driver up and over on its roof. That is Jack Sedgwick in the Simicube Inex racing machine, who had a good run of luck entering the event, but all goes wrong for him in the finals. Let's check in with Kamil Franczak. This is a battle for second place on track between himself and Moritz Lohner. Worth noting that Kamil Franczak moved up from P7 up into the second position, and Moritz Lohner from P6 up into P3. However, Franczak, a big run through the NGK chicane, that hurt his chances a little bit. As here we see it overtaking there by the number 32 machine on the exit of the final corner. Benecke, fastest lap so far, 1:28. He's pulling away early on as the stands begin to fill at the Expo. Here is a look at Jeremy Bootleap. He's looking down to the inside right now over Moritz Lohner, and this is going on for second place on track. Jeremy Bootleap trying to work the outside line, not able to do so. He has to wait to try and make the overtake a little bit later on, but eventually he will struggle and is not able to do so. Over to Mika Mikella and Kamil Franczak. After Franczak had himself that issue down at the chicane earlier on, he falls down into the 5th position, trying to work himself back up through the field. With half the race almost scored complete, a sense of urgency begins to kick in for the drivers as Franczak trying his hardest as the crowd continued to watch on at the Expo. Franczak, he's frustrated at this stage of the event. He cannot find a way past. He tries again into the chicane. Is behind Angela Mikel and Alexander Thieb going at it for P6 on track. Mikel in the Team Rennsport Online car, Alexander Thieb for Pure Racing Team. But it is Max Benecke on the other Pure Racing Team driver who continues to lead and to dominate. The gap up already to over 7.5 seconds at the halfway point of the event. Pure Racing Team and Max Benecke are looking dominant like we've seen him all season long on the iRacing service. All the drivers using a standard rig setup here, so there's no real hardware advantage for the drivers. However, they have the opportunity to show their pure driving talent, and that's what we see all weekend long, as we're now having ourselves a look at Michele versus Franzak once again. Kamil has been able to get himself back up into a podium position in the number 3 car. However, he still continues to struggle behind that Williams Esports car, as overtaking proved to be difficult in the latter third of the event. On board with Franzak, P number 5, in towards the chicane, going over 240 kilometers an hour before breaking it all the way down to just 90 kilometers for the apex of the chicane. We turn our attention back though to the driver on Max Benecke, continuing to dominate the field here. He led every single lap of the event and showing how dominant Pure Racing Team has become in terms of GT and endurance racing. Luna, Bootloop battling it out for second place on track, as you also have battle going on for third and fourth place behind. The outside line can work into turn number 1, however, on both these occasions, it was unsuccessful. The crowd getting ready, though, to crown themselves the champion as the time elapses. Bootloop looks to the outside one more time in towards turn number 1, but he's too far back despite the lockup from the Williams Esports driver, and that means that for the time being at least, Jeremy Bootloop has to retain the bronze medal position only. That'll be a bit of a disappointment for that team, but Williams Esports showing how they enter the stage in 2018 at the front of your field. However, Max Benecke, Pure Racing Team, exiting the chicane for the final time. One more corner to go for Max Benecke. He's already smiling as the team are around him. Final corner, final time. Max Benecke wins the Porsche Sim Racing Trophy. Moritz Lohner in second place, and Jeremy Bootloop rounds out your podium. A fantastic event that sees Pure Racing Team continue their dominance in GT racing on iRacing in 2018. There's a proud and happy man, Max Benecke, heading to the stage to collect his trophy for winning the Porsche Sim Racing Trophy. And there's your podium.
Well, that was a good run, but Nürburgring in the last race was very tough because people are so close to each other. But I just pulled out a very good quali lap, and that just made everything so easy. I profited from the guys behind me having some little touches or whatever. So yeah, just happy to be here finally after 3 years of hard working. Amazing to win that.
So Pure Racing Team took the honours on Saturday, but there's so much more going on at the ADAC SimRacing Expo 2018. Many people had the chance to try out some new hardware and software, and also there's the chance to check out the arena, remote control racing taking centre stage. A true family event with drivers from the age of 5 to 85 all enjoying the action here at the Nürburgring. Let's now talk to some of the people that made Sim Racing 2018 happen.
The event is great, it's amazing. It's my second time here. I will be in there also last year, and I see that the event is growing and growing. That's very important for a company like us because we can share ideas, passions, and work also with the exhibitors that use also our software to understand what they need in order to improve what we do.
It's a great place to feel the spirit of racing. You will go out of this door and you will listen to real motorsport sounds. Sometimes you smell something from the circuit. Sometimes you just see some little kids are driving with RC cars and they're making a race over here. You go over there and you see in the faces the emotions when they are sitting in her simulators, and it's a great place to not to just be here. It's a great place to really jump into this third place.
I think it's so cool to see all the enthusiastic young and older people who are busy with driving as fast as possible. And of course, here on the Nürburgring in such a great location, it's so cool to support them in the car, outside the car, to get quicker lap times, but also supporting with the whole event to get bigger and bigger every year.
So it's quite shocking to see how many people are here today. I mean, this is packed. It's been packed all day. The Porsche Cup was been running, and there must have been 1,000 people in this auditorium watching the race on the screen, and it was a great battle, and people were applauded when the race was over, and it's really fantastic to see how sim racing and esports and how this event has really grown over the last 5 years.
Every time I come here, I need at least 2 hours to stay here, see, learn, to ask people. And you see, these kids are so talented. Well, these people are so talented. They are really fast. The fights are so heavy, and I like it. So I have fun.
Sunday, and the attention turns over to team racing. Gone is it just being individual performance, and instead these drivers have to work together for the ADAC Digital 500. Qualifying was an open qualifying. We see the drivers there maneuvering to get positions, but it was Pure Racing Team Red who had the overall advantage over VRS Commander Sim Sports and number 8 and number 1 car. A lot of drivers making errors in qualifying as they tried to max out every single thousandth of a second. And that meant some drivers had a hard time. As there's a look at your starting grid, let's talk to Max Wenning, who was pole position for this event.
I'm so proud. I mean, I was proud yesterday, and it couldn't be any better for the start of this race. I mean, we prepared really hard for it. A lot of great competitors in the field, and I think he did a great job. He did awesome. I'm so proud of him.
Here's the field getting ready to take the green flag for the ADAC Digital 500. In towards turn number 1, the drivers come for the first time, and immediately we're going to have ourselves some issues. Turned around, ADAC Racing by Team Rennsport Online. You can see drivers swarming to avoid the ADAC Racing driver, but they are now down at the rear of the field. Here's a replay. End of the first lap, many battles going on. Williams Jim Jr., however, going off at the chicane. That's going to hurt their chances early on as they lose themselves 3 positions on track and under pressure past the start-finish line. Let's have a look on board now with the driver in P number 26. This is Vodafone Giants. They're battling with Simacube ADAC Racing. ADAC Racing, of course, being turned around at the first corner. Not a good day by them, as a long way to go, however, in this event. It's a 100-lap event around the Nürburgring, and these drivers still have a lot of hard work to do, including, of course, a driver change. A little bit further forward, and we're going to have a crash, and that's G2 Esports. Their weekend continues to be bad for them. They had issues yesterday in Saturday in terms of the Porsche Sim Racing Trophy. They've got issues. We've got more issues on track as well. That is a SimTag Spa racing car crashing with the SimRC.de machine. On board right now with the Pure Racing Team number 2 as we go back to have a look at the G2 Esports car well down your field. As here is InX Racing down to the inside of the SimRC.de car. They make themselves up a position. Out front, it is still Pure Racing Team leading the way, and they've got themselves a big advantage already. Pit stops are about to take place, and here we are. Williams Esports, one of the first teams on towards pit road. Koana SimSports, they are in the 3rd position as it stands as they enter the final corner. It's not just the mental, it's the physical in terms of sim racing. You can see flexing the muscles, getting the neck over the front straightaway as we turn our attention back to the Pure Racing Team driver of Max Wenig. Here's a look. Using the Fanatec wheel is Max Wenig right now. Going a little bit wide at one side, but it's okay. He's doing fine for the time being. Overtaking some lap traffic there. Gap between first and second, 7.3 seconds as we get ourselves closer to the halfway point of this event. 3rd and 4th place, they are battling. That is the 2nd Koana SimSports driver and the 2nd Pure Racing Team car. It's the red car looking to the outside of Koana SimSports. Can't do so here. They will do so later on, however. Close battle as these drivers are almost at the halfway point in towards turn number 1. There is Koana SimSports just working past some lap traffic, getting right out of the way. Does not want to be involved in this battle at all. Pure Racing Team, though, they are still battling. We go on board a PRT in their blue car. The flames coming out from McLaren just ahead. And here's a look then, down to the inside for Pure Racing Team Blue. They can't quite get it, but they almost go side by side into turns 5 and 6. And then the dummy, the 2nd look, can't do so just yet. Koana pushes a little bit wide. This gives another opportunity for Pure Racing Team. They go side by side, but then Koana SimSports comes on towards pit road. And that would mean, because they came in earlier, it would give the opportunity for Pure Racing Team to then take the position later on. Let's now talk to Jorn Jens from Koana SimSports.
The strategy, we tried something to gain some advantage over the first place against the Pure Racing Team. In the end, we gained a little less than we tried to, than we expected. So the number 1 car is, I think, comfortably in the 2nd position now. And the other car, which was in 3rd place after the first stint, is now dropped back to and fighting for P5. But this is still a very good result for us.
Here's a look at your race leader working through some lap traffic right now. Pure Racing Team looking to make history as they are set right now to win both of the big events this weekend at Sim Racing Expo. There is Max Benecke. A look from his screen on the white flag lap out of the final corner for the final time. Pure Racing Team Red do the double. And there's a look at your race results. Max Benecke running over to hug his teammate in the blue car. Pure Racing Team claiming victory in both of the major events at Sim Racing Expo 2018 as they head onto the stage to collect their prize. There's Koana SimSports and the 2nd Pure Racing Team coming home in the silver medal position.
I had less pressure than I normally have. So after winning this yesterday, it was just good to be in the quali there, and almost no pressure, no nervousness, and then just pulled out a very good lap, which fortunately was good for P1.
Yeah, of course. I mean, first place yesterday, now a double podium for the team. I think I can't say any more than we are so happy to be here, and also so happy for the others to stand on the podium.
What a weekend it's been at SimRacing Expo 2018. Pure Racing team getting the double. There is thrills, there is spills, there is crashes, there was drama. But at the end, it was Pure Racing team that takes home victory in the Porsche SimRacing Trophy and the ADAC Digital 500.